What if I told you there's a way to give your sales team back hours, literally hours, of their day? Well, today we're going to talk about the one thing that can pull your team out from under all that repetitive work so they can start unlocking their true potential. And that one thing is CRM automation.
So, does this whole scene sound a little familiar? Your marketing team, they're just absolutely crushing it, bringing in a ton of new leads. But instead of cheers and high fives, you look over at your sales team and they just look buried. Like they're struggling just to keep their heads above water.
They're just trapped in this cycle of, let's call it administrative quicksand. All that copying, pasting, manually assigning leads, logging every little detail. And with every single minute they spend doing that golden window to follow up with a hot lead just slammed shut. This isn't just a little inefficient, This is literally money walking right out the door.
And the scale of this problem, it's actually staggering. Get this. Major research firms like Gartner and Forrester have found that salespeople can spend up to 2/3 of their time on tasks that have nothing to do with selling. I mean, just imagine paying 2/3 of your sales team's salary for them to basically be data entry clerks. That's the tough reality in so many businesses.
But, and this is a big but, there is a solution, and it is a really powerful one. We've got to start thinking about automation not just as some handy little tool, but as the actual engine that's going to drive your business's growth.
I love this quote from a senior sales director. It's so brutally honest, which is why it's perfect. Speed is absolutely everything. Automation is the difference between having a real conversation with a warm, interested lead and, well, trying to bring a deal back from the dead that's already gone cold.
So what do you really get out of this? It really boils down to 4 huge benefits. First, you unlock your team's real sales potential by getting them out of that admin bog. Second, you eliminate those little human errors that can be so costly. Third, you get to create this seamless, amazing customer experience right from the very first hello. And finally, it lets your operations scale up without having to hire a massive team. Okay, so you're sold, right? Ready to flip the switch and get going? That's awesome. But hold on a second. Before you even think about what tool to buy, we need a blueprint. Because, and I can't stress this enough, careful planning is the absolute non-negotiable foundation for getting this right.
And this right here, this is the golden rule. You have to remember this. Automation cannot fix a chaotic process. All it does is make the chaos happen faster. You've got to streamline your process first. Get that foundation solid, then you can add the rocket fuel.
So what's this foundation look like? Don't worry, it's pretty simple. Just 3 steps. First, you have to map out your process. I mean, from the very beginning to the very end. Know every step. Second, define your triggers and actions. What kicks things off? And third, and this is so critical, you have to clean up your data. Because if your data is a mess, your automation is going to be a mess. It's that old saying, garbage in, garbage out.
At its heart, all this fancy automation stuff works on a really simple logic. If this, then that. The if is just your trigger, like, say, a new lead fills out a form. The then is your action, what the system does automatically in response, like sending a welcome email. Seriously, that's it. That's the whole secret.
Okay, enough with the theory, right? What does this stuff actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through a few really powerful examples you could probably set up this afternoon.
This first one is, I think, a must-have for pretty much any business. The trigger, a new lead fills out a form on your website. The action, boom! Instantly, the system assigns that lead to the right sales rep and fires off a personalized welcome email. Just like that, you've gotten rid of the delay, you've cut out the manual work, and you've guaranteed a perfect first impression every single time. Now, this next one tackles a huge problem we've all had, deals that just kind of fall through the cracks. Here, the trigger is when a deal stage gets updated to quotation sent. What's the action? The system automatically creates a task for the salesperson to follow up in 3 days. It's so simple, but it is an incredibly effective safety net. So how effective is that little safety net? Well, the team that put this in place saw their follow-up rate after sending a quote jump by nearly 40%. I mean, let that sink in for a second. That is a massive number of deals that were saved from just being forgotten. And finally, let's look at keeping the customers you already have. Here, the trigger is a customer who hasn't had any activity logged for over 90 days. The action? The system automatically adds them to what we could call a gentle wake-up email campaign. It sends them some useful content, or maybe a special offer to bring them back. It's a totally proactive way to win back business you might have lost. Okay, so you've set up all these amazing time-saving workflows. Everything's humming along. But
You know what's coming next, don't you? That question from your boss. So, how do we know this is actually working? Let's talk about how you can prove the ROI.
One of the absolute clearest ways to show the impact is with a simple before and after picture. You can see how your average lead response time goes from hours down to minutes. Your entire sales cycle can shrink by weeks. And look, these aren't just vanity metrics. These are hard numbers that prove you are closing more deals faster.
But to get the full picture, you really want to measure across 3 key areas: that process efficiency we just saw, the direct business output, and also something that's really easy to overlook, your team's satisfaction.
When you're talking about business output, you need to track the numbers that directly affect the bottom line. Is your lead conversion rate going up? Are all those automated follow-up tasks actually being completed? These are the numbers that show your automation isn't just creating busy work, it's driving real business results.
So there you have it. We've covered the why, the how, and the proof. It's time to fire up your automation engine. And listen, don't wait for some perfect grand plan. Just start small, start now, and give all that time you're about to save back to the people who matter most, your customers.
So, I'll leave you with this one challenge. Right now, just think of the one repetitive task that drives you or your team completely crazy. You know the one, the thing you wish you never ever had to do again? What if you could get rid of it tomorrow with one simple automation? Start right there. That's your first step. Thanks for joining me on This Explained.